Remember the one that had all the swelling in her forehead and it looked all her face?
Oh, you're talking about Joanna Shank?
I thought she had some.
She might have a little bit, but nothing like a Randy Couture or nothing like a Khabib Nurmagomedov or
so.
Like
so
that.
let us know if you would find that hot or not.
That's a good question.
You know what I mean?
Do you guys find cauliflower hot on a woman or not? Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Elbows Tight Podcast. It's your host, Travis and John. John, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. I'm sore.
Sore from what?
Sore from yesterday.
What was yesterday?
Are you sore?
My soul is sore.
Is the youth keeping you like a fresh, young, flexible?
I wouldn't say that, dude. I definitely felt that yesterday. It was so bad. I was like, Ed had got like
Ed.
a busted nose. And so I was like, thank God Ed's out of here. That way I can sit out this last round. It was five 3-minute rounds back to back with like a 15-second rest in between just to grab a new partner. Yeah. And I was like, woo.
People were like, you wusses, that's nothing.
I was like,
for you guys that don't know, we're in it was like a mini heat wave in Washington.
Yeah, it was probably highs in the mid 80s this week.
We're not used to that.
No, especially because we had cold and like rain for probably until about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, ever.
Yeah, I was like, man, all of a sudden it was just like, boom, heat.
Yeah, no doubt.
I was like, well, it looks like I need to buy some more Hyperfly, like Hyperfly geese because it is fuego out here. Fuego, is that the word? Fire, right? Is that Spanish for fire? Someone DM me.
Sure. I'm pretty sure it is. I saw the kids class, man. They were all like just gi bottoms, And I was like, hey, Cody, how about us? And he was like, oh, no, that's the kids only.
I know. Like, Charles was in class, and I was like, oh, that's pretty nice. They ain't got to put their gi pants on or their gi top on. Gi pants. Kids just run around no gi pants, just the gi top.
I mean, it'd be cooler.
Yeah, definitely. But I was like, man, maybe we should do that, because it gets hot. I was standing, waiting for class to start, sweating.
Yeah, it gets pretty bad.
And we don't have any airflow in our class, like in our school. Zero airflow unless Cody has the doors open, and even then, it's not like there's a pass through. It's just air comes in, so hot air just blows in.
Yeah, that was a good class, and poor Ed's at my house right now soaking in the hot tub.
Is he trying to recover?
Yeah. We'll have to bring him on in a couple months after he gets a real good, exposure to it. Today fresh. Was his 1 month in. It'll be fun to talk to him about his police officer duties and how they do hand-to-hand versus what he's been experiencing the last month. I know his answers, but I'm not going to say it on the air. I'd rather him put it there. Yeah,
he's been doing it 1 month. And he hasn't really rolled with anyone after class or anything like that. He's kind of just been, all right, I'm out. And I don't blame him. I mean, especially when you're new, you don't have a firm base to even understand what you're supposed to do in the middle of a roll, right? So he's like, I'm good. I'm gonna go ahead and just take off. I'm like, all right, man. Well, hey, at least you're showing up.
Yeah, I feel real bad because me and Ed go back, since I was 18.
Like 4 flats on a Cadillac.
And I know he doesn't want to roll with me, right? Because who wants to get, choked out or tapped by one of their friends for the last 35 years, you know what I mean? But I talked him into it the other day. I was like, come on, man, just roll with me after class. I'm not going to go all ham on you. I'm not one of these young guys.
Whip that ass.
I was like, come on, I'll take it easy. Man, I threw him in bow and arrows, you name it. I was like, oh,
got him. Sorry. Gotcha. It's like sometimes, I was just thinking about this the other day, and sometimes when you're like, man, you know what? Today's not the day. I ain't going to play with no one. Like, and then you end up just like going maybe a little bit too hard in class or in roles. And you're like, afterwards you're starting to contemplate, like, was that a little, fuck it, whatever. I don't even care.
I kind of felt that way last night. I wasn't rolling hard or anything, but it was during that 5 rounds.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this is how my rounds worked out. First round was Ed. No offense, Ed. That one wasn't, a challenge. I was having fun. But after that was one of those tall 200-pound guys, right? Then after him, it was Thor. So another exactly 200-pounder, right? Then after Thor was that next tall 200-pounder. And I was like, all right, I'm exhausted. And I'm a nice guy. So I'm like, hey, you guys want top or bottom? And they're like, top. And I was like, damn it. So we get to the last guy, and it's John, right? And I don't know how big John is, the blue belt John.
Yeah.
And
which blue belt John? You're a blue belt John. He's a blue belt. You wrestled yourself?
The other one. But he was the last roll, and I was like, oh, thank God we're done. I was like, I felt like I went through like heavyweight row. Not you, John. Heavyweight row.
I completely understand because the first person I rolled with was a newer white belt, but he's a larger gentleman, bigger than I am, tall, a little bit heavier, and it was more of a. Maybe some of you guys can attest to when you're rolling with a new white belt. It's not that you're taking it easy on them, but you're like, I'm going to practice a little bit of technique. I'm going to see if I can't do some of these things, and that's what that first roll was. And then right after that. It was Thor.
Yeah, you must have been behind me.
Man, his roll. I was like, hey Thor, how do you want to start? He's like, I'm going to start on top. I was like, of course you do. I was like, great, thanks Thor. But then I rolled with Thor, and then after that, it was. I don't even remember who it was on the. It was another newer white belt, but you could tell he had like some wrestling, and he was real explosive and young. And I was like, oh my gosh, you guys are kicking my butt, man. And then we rolled with Mike Stapleton. He was in like episode like 16 of the show, maybe even sooner than that. But I rolled with him, and I was like, Mike, I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. I'm dead. I was like, I am so tired. He's like, me too, man. Thank you. And I was like, how does that make me look? I was like, I'm in my 30s. Mike's in his 50s, and he's tired. I'm tired. I'm so out of shape, or he is in really good shape.
I think it's a combination of both.
And then so in the middle of it, it's like when you're so tired, and it's like when we were doing our blue belt test, and you're like grabbing things, but you're really not doing anything.
Right.
It's just you're like, just play fight, just act like we're doing something for the next 3 minutes. That's what it felt like it was. And then there was like moments of explosiveness, but that was real quick. It was like a split second, and it was back to.
I put the lockdown on John. I ain't going to finish nothing with that, but he ain't moving either.
Thank God.
And it was like a good minute, and he was like, yeah, that was a good way to take some time off the clock. I was like, I agree.
I was fighting to survive. I feel bad now every time I'm like fighting to survive, air quotes, because Sean calls that stuff out. And he
does. He's like, oh, you can't survive. You got to attack.
If you're fighting to survive, you're fighting to lose. I'm like, I'm fighting to stay alive right now, man.
I hear it when he says that, but I think at this point in our journey, I'm also of the mindset that don't give me that shit. If that guy's the same belt I am, but he's 6 inches taller and 80 pounds heavier, I'm surviving.
I'm fighting to survive.
You know what I mean? Like, sure, I might catch him in something,
yep.
But if we both know the same stuff, it's going to come down to stronger.
It's true. It's like when Thor gets in mount and you're just trying, but he just puts and Thor, if you listen to it, I don't even know if Thor listens to the show or not, but if you're listening to this, you're getting much better about using your weight.
Oh, he is.
And it sucks.
It does.
It sucks, man. Because I'm like Thor gets in mount, and in my mind, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get out of this. And then my body's like, you're not getting out of this.
Yeah, he's learned how to suck up to space.
Yes.
He used to not do that. And you had all this room in between chest to chest.
Yeah, now he just puts it on you, and you're like,
now I'm like, I ain't letting you get nowhere now.
Yeah,
that shit's done.
Exactly. So when Thor was like, I'll take top, and I was like, ain't gonna be very long. I'm trying to get out. I was like instantly going for like a sweep or like something to get out of there. And on bigger people like Thor, what I like to do is I like to play deep X because it allows me to get underneath them and them not be able to put their weight on me. And then I have that stand-up sweep from deep X. And so, I kick the leg out with their leg on my shoulder and I stand up and sweep them. And that's probably my go-to game. And I just said it on the podcast. Dang it. But
well, the other thing, too, we're talking about, we have a lot of newer white belts in our classes right now. And they're not small guys either.
And they're not. And everyone has good body awareness.
They're
and they
fit.
Move great.
So I actually find it harder to go up against, even though we can get more submissions against the newer white belts, I feel they're harder to go up against because I can't predict anything they're doing because they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So even though you might, somebody more experienced, you might do something and then they counter it and then what's going on. These guys are like, there's no countering. They're just doing everything. They don't even know what they're doing. Yep. And then I'm like, well, this ain't working because they're not moving where I'm trying to get them to move. Like, they're just all over the place.
Yeah. And that's that. So I caught one of the newer white belts yesterday that we were rolling with. I got him in an arm bar, and I don't remember how I even got to the arm bar, but I had leg over the head and leg over the stomach, and he had locked it down or I forgot how he had it. I think he had like a hand on his wrist. Well, I just slowly like went forearm to forearm and started slowly applying it. And I was like, I don't know how long this guy's going to fight this, but I'm just going to go as slow as possible because I don't want him to jerk.
Right.
And then, you know what I mean? So that's the beautiful thing about the better you get at jiu-jitsu, the more you can, once you know you have something, you can apply it even slower. But I started applying it real slow, and he was like jerking and moving around, and I was like, when is this dude going to tap? And then finally he said, okay, tap. And I was like, I was putting it on real slow. He's like, I appreciate that. I was like, because there's plenty of times, and John, you can attest this, when white belts start spazzing out, and we were there. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Now I hold them real tight. I hug them. Like, I just hold them for a good 45 seconds, and then they kind of like calm down. I don't know if I'm like a warm blanket. They start feeling more relaxed.
It reminds me of like when a dog's like getting a buck wild and you just like pin them to the ground and then you just got to keep them there until they relax. That's what I'm not comparing you guys to dogs. I'm just.
Well, and then I went to say, like, sometimes you're like, hey, I'm rolling hard tonight. I ain't taking nothing. And I felt like maybe I came off like that on one of the guys last night, which is not my intent if you're listening. Well, we were rolling and he kneed me right in the ear hard, right? Like, it immediately, I could feel it swelling. I'm like, great. Now I better ice that when I get home. I don't want the cauliflower ear. I know a lot of people want it.
I'll take his.
I don't want it. I don't want cauliflower ear. You guys can keep that stuff.
What's your guys' is? Let us know if you're listening to this. Hit us up on social media. What is your feelings, especially as a white belt? Yeah. Because Trey, speaking of cauliflower real quick, Trey, the purple belt that now he's a brown belt, that he just got promoted to brown belt. He got cauliflower removed at white belt because he felt like he was an imposter having...
But now, but he said he kind of regretted it now.
He regrets it, right? Yeah. So let us know what you guys think about having cauliflower at white belt. We've had plenty of people, white belts, that have had cauliflower early in their journey. We just had a guy we had a guy that's competing tomorrow. He wrestled for 12 years, and he got his first bit of cauliflower in the first couple months of jiu-jitsu, and he just had to have it cut out.
But his was like it exploded or something.
Yeah, it was like it got like he said it. It had got hard, and then he woke up one night, and it had swollen up again.
Yeah, it was Randy Couture overnight.
Yeah, exactly. And he said, he's like, I couldn't even, there was so much pain in my ear, I had to get it taken out. But oof. I don't know. I don't mind. When my ears hurt, I'm like, I wake up the next morning, I'm like checking my ear. I'm like,
not me. Anything? I'm like, where's the ice? And it's weird too, because I've had a lot of ear damage.
Yeah,
so I've had to super glue the top when it got ripped off.
Oh yeah.
Like, I've had it turn purple and black, and I just ice everything, and I've been pretty lucky. I've had very small cauliflower ear.
Yeah, there's some people. Maybe there's some more people out there that are susceptible to cauliflower ear, because there's definitely people that have been in the class for a month.
Yeah,
take one forearm to the ear.
Yeah,
and they're like, they have like headphones on. They look like Khabib Nurmagomedov.
I was getting worried for Olivia, right? Because she's been doing it a couple years now, and I'm like, man, I'd be like okay with it if I got it, but I don't know about a teenage girl if her ears get deformed, if that's gonna mess with their psyche. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what's crazy is I've never. Maybe someone can send us a picture. I've never seen heavily cauliflowered women's ears, even in wressling.
What about that one that had that massive forehead? I thought she had cauliflower ear. Remember, she got hit a lot?
Chris Cyborg? Yeah, she has a little bit of...
remember the one that had all the swelling in her forehead and it looked all her face?
Oh, you're talking about Joanna Shank?
I thought she had some.
She might have a little bit, but nothing like a Randy Couture or nothing like a Khabib Nurmagomedov or...
So let us know if you would find that hot or not.
That's a good question. You know what I mean? Do you guys find cauliflower hot on a woman or not? I'm gonna say it's like this. Maybe a little bit.
Right? Because you're like, that's a tough motherfucker right there. You know
maybe a little bit. If Lauderdale, so it's the same thing. Like Lauderdale, when we first started dating, she had gauged ears, and she had like double zeros. If you guys know what that is, not very big gauged ears, but I find gauged ears attractive from like my childhood and like growing up. It was a cool thing in my childhood, and so. Now that jiu-jitsu is cool to me, now it's like, well, I'd take a girl with a little bit of cauliflower ear. I don't want like completely like shelled over.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Can't get your earbud in or AirPod or whatever you're listening to.
Nothing but just over the ear headphones.
So, well, when I got kneed in the ear, right, it was painful. And the guy's like, hey, I'm sorry. And I was like, oh, it ain't nothing. Like, I didn't think twice about it. But it just so happened right after he did that, I kneed him in the face. Ooh. And he's like, oh, I see. So it's 1 for 1. And I was like, no, for real, like purely accidental. But when I was driving home, I was like, I hope he don't think I really tried to knee him in the head.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. But maybe he did. Maybe he's like, this guy's out for blood. Ooh. Sorry about that.
It's like I've had people knee me in class or elbow me or whatever. And I usually tell people in the middle of rolls, like if I don't stop, it didn't hurt enough to where I really care, and it's not. And sometimes I feel bad because I'll catch someone in a submission right afterwards, or I feel like I might turn it up a little bit afterwards, and I'm like, that's not my intent. I promise I'm not like upset about it. Like, I don't. It's a part of the game. Like sometimes you get elbowed, sometimes you get kneed. I mean, and sometimes I elbow and sometimes I knee. I need someone in the ribs in the middle of rolling one night so hard. He hasn't been back to class.
Well, I had the nut smash sweep. Remember that one when we first started? It was a great sweep. If you smash the testicles and then lift up, kind of like like a tripod, like they're gonna go. It's very painful.
He was trying to do like a knee slice or a knee cut pass or whatever it's called. Listen to us blue belts. We can't even talk about real technique. But instead of cutting past with his knee on my inner thigh, he decided to go a little bit deeper.
Yeah, it worked. It was very effective.
Yeah, I don't even know what I did afterwards because I was in so much pain. I saw my life flash before his eyes. That's how bad it was. But I got I forgot to tell you a little bit earlier, but I got a nice little sick wrist lock yesterday too.
Did you? On who?
Thor.
Really?
Went for armbar, and he was like. He locked it down. He figured forward his arms, and I was like, "Oh, I've been waiting for someone to do this because I've been wanting to wrist lock him from here." And so he locked down, and I was like, "Thank you, Thor. Thank you." And I just double palmed his wrist, elbow against chest, and just, and he's like, "Okay, got it. Tap."
For those that don't remember, and Sean, if you're listening, I don't know what happened. Like that one time I threw the wrist lock, I thought it was very frowned upon in our gym. And I was like, man, I'm going to have to change my whole game. I can't do wrist locks no more.
Now every class there's a wrist lock.
And not only that, but when they show it, they look at me and they're like, this one's for you. And I'm like, all right.
So am I allowed to do it or not? Like, I'm so confused. Like,
I honestly, I haven't tried any for like a long time, but everyone tries them on me now because I guess they feel like that's my hallmark. But
yeah. Like Cody, whenever I roll with Cody, he's like trying to wrist lock me or darce me or whatever. And he's like, whenever I roll with Jon, all I do is wrist locks.
Yes.
We enjoy wrist locks.
Something about them is just so much fun.
I know. And it's a great equalizer, like you always said. And that's what I told Thor yesterday. I was like, so that was a great wrist lock. I was like, he's like, yeah, it was pretty sneaky. I was like, yeah, it's the only way I can like really stop you from just completely smashing me. Sometimes.
Yeah, well, it's true, right? They start smashing, you grab a wrist, they're like, uh-oh, maybe I need to back up. Yeah, for sure.
You know what we forgot to do?
What?
Our beverage.
Well, we have a couple.
You want to go over them real quick?
Well, I'm having the I can't even pronounce this. I don't even know how you pronounce that. How do you say that? Is this camera on?
Yeah, it's this camera. You're gonna have to like put it up close.
Bodhizafa. I don't know how you say that. Oh, you're not.
Cover your face. I'm trying to get it. Oh, there we go.
I don't know what that beer's called, but I've been drinking it now for about a month, and it's delicious.
Yeah, it's a IPA. Bodhizafa.
Yeah.
Bodhizafa.
I don't know. It's great.
I don't know. It's delicious.
But I know on their can it says, "Please refrigerate because warm beer sucks," and I couldn't agree. I can't agree more.
So what does it taste like? Because I'm not drinking that one.
It's good. It's got some hop, which I'm not a big hoppy fan, but it just tastes good. It's not like bitter. I like it. I highly recommend.
What's the IPA or what's the BPUs and all that stuff?
6.9. And it says they like beer, I mean, you can't argue with it.
Yeah, that's good.
What do you have?
I am drinking
a Space Donger? Is that what that says?
Space Danger. Oh. I was like, Donger? Now I'm like dyslexic trying to read my own beer. But it is the Fremont Space Danger from Seattle. I didn't know this was local beer. I really just like it because there's a dinosaur in space with a rocket.
It looks like T-Rex. There you go. I like it.
Yeah, so that's our two beverages of the day. This is 7%. Holy crap, I wasn't expecting that. I'm about to get drunk. These are our beverages of the day. There's going to be a description or a link down below if you guys want to check out this beer, see where you can buy them and whatnot for both beers. But that's our beverage of the day. I don't even know the last time we did a beverage of the day, to tell you the truth.
I don't know, but let's talk about Travis and Jon in their jiu-jitsu mind frame right now.
Ooh.
We don't talk about that too much. We're We're a little bit over 3 years in the jiu-jitsu journey right now.
Yep.
So I'll speak for myself first, and maybe you can give us
I can't speak for you, so that's good.
So I would say right now, I feel like I'm in a real good spot. I enjoy going to class. It's fun. Sean is a great instructor. Even my daughter, is like, man, that guy's good. Like, I think he's funny. Classes are entertaining. The instruction's really, really good. And I love the format of sticking with one thing for 2 weeks and building upon it. I think that really helps out my game. And it just feels like it's just a fun time. Sean put out, he's new to teaching at our school, and he put out a couple things, like a lot of people get hung up on promotions, belt striping, how long have I been coming, when's my next stripe, when's my next belt. And I like his philosophy on it, which is regardless of where you're at in that journey, if you feel like you've earned your belt, if you feel like you didn't, got stripes, you feel like you deserved it, whatever, right? He doesn't really care about any of that. If he doesn't think you've deserved it or whatever, you'll just wear it until he thinks you do. Like, you know what I mean? I like that. It's like no pressure, which I think is a lot of fun. And I don't know. It's just been really fun going to class lately. I'd say definitely the last few months. And I feel like I've really picked up a lot lately. It's, what we used to struggle trying to, I don't know how to, everybody keeps putting more technique in, and you're like, holy shit, how do I remember all this stuff?
Yeah.
And now it just feels like it comes a little more natural where I can learn new techniques because the other ones I don't really have to think about.
I completely agree with everything you just said. I have been having so much fun lately in class. And just like you said, instruction has been great. Technique has been great. There's just an overall kind of, how do you explain it? Like a funner, to me, it's just like a funner atmosphere during, like, because of like the lockdown and everything like that. I felt like classes, Cody was doing what he can, and Professor Al and George at the time were doing what they can, but I just felt like there was just like something different about classes, probably because there wasn't as many people. Honestly felt like the classes were kind of thrown together sometimes, right? And then like this 2 week thing is great, man. It's
like key.
And it's like, and I think honestly, the hour and a half class has also been helping out quite a bit. At first I was like, dang, an hour and a half. Like I really don't want to stay an hour and a half, but the first 45 minutes is review, you know what I mean? And then it's like 45 minutes of a new technique with lots of reps, and then at the end of the class is usually positional sparring, which has been so much fun, man, because even though we stay later, we usually still get our rolls in class, so I can't skip out on them.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it was a little tougher with the classes going longer just because we're all busy people. But I think I've gotten to the point a couple times in class where I'm like, I'm exhausted. And we did not roll. It's just from doing the technique over and over and over again. I'm like, I'm like pretty tired, right? Like,
yeah.
Class
absolutely.
ain't even over yet. And I'm like, wow, all right.
I don't think I've ever looked at the clock more because I wanted to be done because I was so tired. You know what I mean? It's like I'm sure everyone can attest to this that listens to it. There's some nights when you're just like, man, this is going on forever. How much time? It's been 30 minutes. Yeah. Great.
And I think some other good things. I don't think we've talked about it on the podcast, but Sean had a good talk with the whole class, and we're not going to be gold medal athletes in jiu-jitsu.
We talked about it in that one episode.
Yeah, right. And I think that took a lot of pressure off of everyone.
Yeah, and never before has anyone ever said you have to compete, you have to do this. No one's ever said that.
Well, I felt like previously you needed to compete. Like that was a part of factoring in of whatever went on in the gym.
Yeah, probably because it was so put into our daily routine when a competition was coming around. Because everyone was participating in preparation for competing, even if you weren't competing, which I didn't necessarily agree with, but that's neither here nor there, but it was definitely way more present. I don't think I've ever really, maybe once or twice I've heard Sean say that's 2 points, that's 3 points, you get the sweep. You throw it in there because there are people that do want to compete, right? So even though not everyone wants to compete, just reminding someone that, hey, if you do this in competition, it is
illegal.
Worth X amount of
points. Yes.
You know what I mean? But it's definitely not like ingrained in us about, I don't think he's ever once said hold for 3 seconds either.
No.
And once again, like, this is not to say that we didn't enjoy that last time. Like, we've talked about it before, where holding for 3 seconds made you realize how long 3 seconds actually is and how much energy someone can use in 3 seconds. And they're kind of like neutralizing themselves, you know what I mean? Or how many mistakes can be made in 3 seconds to where it can change a game.
Agreed.
But no, it's been a whole lot of fun lately. I don't think I've ever like thought to myself, I don't want to go tonight. Well, yes, I have, but that's because like there's just so much other stuff to do.
Right.
I have to do in life, but it's not because like I don't enjoy what's going on. It's just, I think the best word for it is just refreshing. It's always just refreshing. Even when we go over the same stuff over and over and over again, I don't feel like it's repetitive for some reason. You know what I mean? I talked about this with one of my buddies, and they were talking about, what do you use for like your stuff, like to look up technique? Like, do you use YouTube? Or I was like, well, I used to use a lot of YouTube. I used to be on Instagram. I used to like follow Roy Dean's stuff all the time. And I still follow like some stuff because, it's always nice to see something new. That I kind of want to try that. But my mindset now is I barely know the stuff in class. I'm definitely not going to try to fill my head anymore with stuff that I don't have no business of even trying to learn. When in class, I'm sitting there fumbling like a freaking idiot that's never done this before.
1,000% agree.
Is that you now too?
Oh, for sure. Like when I love Roy Dean's training. And when I look at it, it's not because I'm trying to learn something new. It's because I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong, and I'm trying to refresh on something. I don't look for new techniques anymore.
Yeah, same.
I have enough that I'm trying to learn now, which comes up to another point. Seminars.
Yeah. How do you feel about them?
Well, I think they're good. But I'm at the point now in this journey where I don't want to go to them. Not because they're not good. Or like I love the Nathan Orchard one. That was a ton of fun.
Man, that was so much fun.
The problem is,
shout out to Nathan Orchard.
There's so much taught in them that honestly, I don't know that I've ever utilized something from the seminars that I've been to. If anything, they might teach me what to look for, and I might recognize something someone's doing to me. But there's just so much to learn.
Yeah.
It's just almost like just information overload half the time. And but I have a little bit more room now, so who knows? But yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. We have Marcelo Alonso's seminar coming up at our school, which I really want to go to because Marcelo is a legend in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Like there's Carlson Gracie, Marcelo Alonso. You know what I mean? Like he's the reason that Jiu-Jitsu is in the Pacific Northwest. The first black belt under him is here in Kitsap County.
We're gonna try to get him on.
George Hasong. But he's here, right? So there's the lineage and the history behind Marcelo Alonso is huge, and he's coming to our school to teach a seminar, and I really want to be there, but I'm afraid that it is going to be information overload.
Not only that, but I mean, I don't know about you, but I get a little nervous with the seminars.
Yeah, why's that?
You take Marcelo, right? He might come in there and be like, "Hey, Travis, show me this."
Oh, because I got a blue belt on my waist.
Do that, and I'm like, you don't want to let those people down, right?
100%,
you know what I mean?
100% agree.
I don't know if anyone else feels like that way or they just don't say it out loud. But, you get like a little apprehension, a little, nervous, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, Cody talked about that because Cody has that brought up all the time because now Cody's a brown belt and Sean will show something in class. And Cody and I were laughing about this. After class one day, I was like, Cody, I'm not going to lie to you, man. Watching you mess up that technique in front of the whole class made me feel so much better about me. He's like, Cody always jokes about it now. He's like, I don't know jiu-jitsu anymore. Like, Sean has made me realize I have no idea what jiu-jitsu is, because Cody was riding high before Sean came, right? Because he was smashing everyone.
Yeah, smashing us.
Smashing us.
And
I'm
still
sure,
smashing me.
And I'm sure, he still smashes me too. And I'm sure he'll talk about this. We're trying to get him on another episode.
Yeah, we have a lot of changes we want him to talk about.
Yeah, a lot of changes. But I'm sure the first time he rolled with Sean was an eye-opener because Sean just neutralized him, just opened up a can of worms where Cody was like, I don't know what the hell I am doing anymore.
That is true.
Yeah, and having just, I feel like our technique is so basic. Like there's really nothing fancy about anything we're doing. Some of the stuff I don't use in my game, to tell you the truth, but it's nice to know, and it's very simple. And it's, if I'm in that position, then I'll use it. I don't feel like my game has really changed. I feel like I'm just honing my craft.
Totally agree. A lot of that stuff
way?
I know I'm not going to use it. For one, I'm not that flexible. Like a lot of that stuff, I'm like, all right, I'll learn it because we're doing it. I'm never going to use it. Maybe in the off chance I'll end up in that position, and it'll be good to know. But yeah, you're right though. When you watch the high level competitions and stuff like that, most of those wins are with basic moves, triangles, Kimuras, Americanas. Like that's what it is. It's no craziness.
There's a reason why the double underhook pass is one of the most successful passes, right? Because it's very simple. You just neutralize the hips and just go around the legs. You know what I mean? Like, Andre Galvo, that's his like favorite pass, and it's super simple, right? There's a lot of ways you can get into it. I think what the biggest difference is, especially at high level, is they have more means to getting to where they want to go. You know what I mean? So if they want to get to these triangle positions and whatnot, as to where you and I, like, if we kind of have to like fall into it, kind of, you know what I mean? Like they set up multiple avenues. And
they're like chess grandmasters. They're like, all right, 9 moves to this position.
Yeah, but they're never. But I mean, I've seen, obviously, if you guys follow like competitive jiu-jitsu, you've seen, Deep X, De La Hiva, Berimbolo to back take to bow and arrow or whatever. I'm just making that up. If someone could show me a video of that, that'd be sweet. But
well, I think what you're referring to is like when we watched Nathan roll.
Yeah.
When that guy, that was the first time I felt like I was in the presence of like a higher deity. I was like, this guy, like, I've rolled with black belts.
But there's a different level.
Yeah. And then I rolled with Nathan and I'm like, this guy would kill the black belts. Like, that was a different level.
I've never felt so useless before in the middle. Like, there's nothing I can do.
Yeah, any Dragon Ball Z fans? You got like the Saiyans, and then you got the Super Saiyans. That's where he was at.
So
let's call our black belts the Saiyans, and then we had a Super Saiyan.
He's like Super Saiyan. He's like, Kamehameha.
Yeah. I was like, that's unbelievable. Like,
yeah, but that's the difference, right? When your life is an art, you're going to be at a different level than someone that's not in the lifestyle of that. You know what I mean? Like, my life will never be jiu-jitsu. I take that back. If this podcast takes off and then we can start making it our lives, then it could be our lives. But as of right now, my life is being a dad.
Yeah, we're super busy.
We're really busy. We flaked last month a lot because we've just been so busy, unfortunately. But if jiu-jitsu could be my game, or my job, if the podcast could be our job, when you do something full time,
when you could dedicate everything to it.
When you could dedicate to it, you're gonna be at a different level. But then there's like a higher level than that too. Like, you can see it in the UFC or in competitive, even like the highest level. You'll see people at Worlds or the ADCC, the Olympics for grappling, and even there is a different level between some people that are like there because they got there because they won a match or two. And then there's people there that are just absolutely dominating,
Agreed. And I just got to say real quick, I just tried the Space Danger. That is delicious.
Isn't this good?
I'll knock it over the other one. Yeah, that was
This
good.
is so good. I was thoroughly surprised when I started drinking it. I'm already feeling it, though.
All right, so I got something I want to discuss a little bit.
Let's talk about it.
This is a disservice I think we all experience. I don't get to watch any high-level belts. The only high-level belt rolling I've seen so far in this 3-year journey is watching Roy Dean's Pure Rolling.
Yeah.
I feel like even when we were getting the tournaments, getting ready for the competitions and all that, I've never seen like our instructors roll against someone that's at their level.
Yeah.
And
true.
I want to see that. Like, I haven't seen
a black belt on black belt, like,
like
going at it.
I've not seen the black belts that are teaching the schools roll. Like, I haven't seen it other than watching Roy Dean. And, sometimes like when I'm taking a break in class and I get to watch Sean and Cody, I'm like glued in because
absolutely. And I feel bad because I feel like sometimes Sean's looking at us like, "Why are you watching me?" It's like, well, because it's like
I never get to see it. I want to see this. I would love the chance to go to like one of the competitions and see our higher belts actually compete.
Yeah.
So I can just see. Like I want to see that. I learn a lot from watching stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I just feel like we don't ever really get the opportunity for that.
In our defense, though, our higher belts are 1 black belt, 1 brown belt, and 2 purple.
True.
That's it.
But I mean, just anywhere. Like I've never seen them. The places we roll in and visit.
Yeah.
When I went to Revolution, I got there early as hell, and it was still like no black belts on the mat. Like I feel like this is something we don't get to see that often.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree because I want to see. Maybe we need to just go to a competition and watch black belts compete, because watching a full 5 minutes of people just absolutely neutralizing each other or getting out of like 6 moves or 6 positions, and we're like, dang, dude, I would have.
Yeah, let me see it work like at the highest level.
Yeah. Agreed. And that's what Nathan Orchard said. Like, if you guys listen back to a podcast, it was like 3-4 episodes ago, Nathan Orchard, great episode. Man, that guy is just like filled with freaking knowledge. But he talks about, he doesn't teach anything that he can't use at the highest level.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is great, right? Because if he's actually used it on someone in competition, then he knows it works, because he only goes against black belts. You know what I mean? So, which I'm like, man, would I actually use this? And the funny thing is, I feel like in my after class rolling now, I use technique that we just learned more than I ever did before.
Agreed. Same here.
I'm like, oh, I'm gonna try to use this. It's like, because I don't know, I feel like it's just so easy to just kind of throw it in there and see what happens and whatnot. But I definitely feel like now I use my
what we're going
used
over
in class. Yeah, definitely. You too?
Yeah, absolutely. And a matter of fact, I was rolling with Justin like before he went on this fishing trip, and I got him, and whatever we just went over in class, he was like, "This is embarrassing."
I knew it was coming, and I still got in it.
Yeah, and I was like, man, and I think it's just because we learn it more because it's over 2 weeks, so now you can kind of almost see it when it's happening, and you can apply it.
Yeah, one of the white belts I was rolling with yesterday, he tried to use one of the moves that we learned in class last week or 2 weeks ago, the grabbing the sleeve around the head and then arm lock down, right? But if you guys are in our class or in our school, or you know what I'm talking about, right? So you go opposite arm, and then you pull the sleeve behind your head. Your hand goes behind your head, so you're kind of extending the arm, and then you have the hand like locked behind your head, and then you go over and then lock the arm down, keeping the elbow tight to your ribs. Where people mess up the most that I've seen, especially at lower levels with this move, is they do not keep their elbow tight. Yes. And that's not a shout out to our podcast, but I tell them all the time, like, the reason I get out of this is because you don't pin your elbow. Like, there's just so much room. I could just twist my arm and just get out of it. You know what I mean? And if you guys are listening to this and you're in our class, keep your elbows tight. It's more than a joke. It's actually true, because you guys you're just giving me my escape. It's pretty easy to get out of it. So
it's funny you say that, because I mean, we never really used to coach people on anything like that, but I even see it now when they're trying to pass my guard and they're doing a knee slice, but their chest is like 2 feet away. I'm like, bring it down, man. Cover everything and then slide that knee over.
What's funny is I watched Sean call someone out in the middle of class, stop the whole class. He's like, "Hey, look, guys, I'm the only coach." And I was like,
"Yep, that's true."
Someone messed up. He's like, if you guys want to help each other with technique, that's one thing, but coaching someone, if you're a white belt coaching another white belt, I'm gonna let you know right now that's wrong. I am the only coach here. I am the one that's teaching you the technique. If you have a question, please feel free to ask me, but do not coach each other. And I was like, right after that, the guy I was practicing was like, "Am I doing this right?" I was like, "I have no idea."
And now I don't even care anymore. I just ask my question out loud. I don't care if it sounds stupid, whatever. Like, if I'm not sure or I'm having trouble with something, I just ask it. I used to, I think when we first started, I'd be like embarrassed to ask, like, damn, everyone else has it.
100% agree.
Now I'm like, yeah, I got a question. Like, I don't even care.
You guys want to see it again? Can I see it 15 more times? Because I don't understand.
Yeah, I know I got this blue belt on. I still don't get that. Just show it to me.
Yeah. You know what's so funny, too, is I feel like in our classes, I do not feel like a blue belt until we get to like rolling, and then I can use like other technique that I know.
Yeah.
But in the middle of class, I'm like, can I put my white belt back on? And then when we go to open mat, I'll put my blue belt back on, because for the technique, I'm 100% a white belt. And I feel bad because they want, a more experienced person with a newer person. But honestly, I don't know what the hell I'm doing with this stuff either.
Right? I felt I was rolling with Ed the other day, and I showed him trap and roll.
Yeah.
So he used it the other day. Was yesterday, Tuesday, whatever day, Thursday. And me and him were just talking about it, and like he was like, "Yeah," the guy was like, "What the hell? Where'd you? I don't know that." And I was like, and I felt bad. I was talking to Ed. I was like, man, when we started this, we were all new, and we learned all these basics.
Yeah.
So it's just funny to me. A month in, they don't know what trap and roll is, or they don't know how to do any of that stuff to get out of mount. None of that stuff.
Yeah, and like Cody was talking about how he kind of wants to do like a beginner's course or an on-ramp kind of thing to teach the very basic things of like shrimping, trap and roll, mounts, side mount, back mount, all that stuff, because I feel like not knowing trap and roll is like one thing. I was rolling with that same white belt that got me in the moves that we were doing from like 2 weeks ago, and I let him trap my arm because I wanted to see what he was going to do, but I was bracing with, I had a post out with my right hand, and he kept like pushing me towards my right hand, and I was like, "Yo, where is my post?" He's like, "To the left of me." I was like, "Exactly. So why do you keep pushing me to my post?" I was like, "You have my left arm. Go to the right." And he's like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "How about this? I'm going to fake to the left, and then I'm going to go to the right." I was like, "Perfect, man." And so he did it, and I was like, "Oh, look, see how easy it is?" I was like, one thing that I did with myself also when we first started is I overthink. Well, I still do it. I overthink a lot of things, and I don't mechanically break it down in my head mid roll. I'll be like, "Holy shit, this guy's like got this here, or he has this here," and I don't stop to really think about, well, how am I going to de-engineer this? You know what I mean? A lot of times I'm just like,
that's why I can't wait for you to do a competition, just because I feel like that was I said this numerous times, but that's where it really clicked for me.
Yeah.
Because we do overthink in class, but in a competition you won't have time to overthink, and it's just going to be like natural.
Yeah.
And that's where you're going to learn, shit, I do know this.
You guys, let us know if you guys, question to all the listeners, do you guys feel like you overthink sometimes in class, or are you kind of just so open-minded, you just sit there and stare off into space?
But like you said with the post, I've had people tapping the knee shields lately.
Knee shields?
Yeah, right. I throw a knee shield in, I grab the collar, and I'm like pulling down and shoving my knee in the chest, and they're tapping. I'm like, this is ridiculous. You can't tap to that.
Like, all right, bro. Now you're being a little extra right now. Right?
So look, the other day, like they were just going ballistic with this knee, and after like 15, 20 seconds, I was like, all right, man, look, I'm just gonna show you something. Just grab my knee and push it down.
Yeah.
I was like, just slam it down, and
that's the thing, right? Is what you don't know what you
right?
Don't
they don't know.
You know what I mean? It's so true, because even with Sean will do something, and I'm like, "Yo, did I react right to that?" And he's like, "No."
No.
And I was like, okay, so how am I supposed to react to that? Like, what do I need to do to get out of that position? Because you don't know what you don't know. And if you don't ask the question and you don't try different things, then you're never going to know what works and what doesn't. And that's what I think Sean is really trying to get at when going back to, like, if you're fighting to survive, you're losing. Because mid-roll, he'll tell me, or even after roll, he's like, "Yeah, I didn't submit you, but you didn't do anything."
Right.
He's like, "You got to take risk. You got to know what's going to happen." He's like, "Tapping is not losing." He's like, "Tapping just means you did something that didn't work. And now you know." And I was like, you know what? You say it, and I know that, but in my head, maybe
it's still like I do that now because he said that.
Yeah,
I still don't like getting caught.
I know, and that's what I was about to say. Is like I'm sure you feel the same way. Getting tapped, I know it's not. We tell everyone. I sound like a hypocrite right
Look,
now. We
it
tell
depends
everyone
on who's tapping me is the problem.
Yeah.
If it's somebody
true.
that I've been training with for years, then okay, yeah, you got me. I'll get you next time.
Yeah.
But if it's going to be the brand new white belt and I'm getting crazy and I'm trying all this new stuff and he taps me,
He's going to go home and write a
you know what I'm saying? You're going to see a
post.
blog.
He's like,
I got John from Elbows Tight Podcast. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 2 weeks.
I did some micro adjustments and got his ass.
Yeah, you're like, I don't want that. I don't want that. You know, like, hey.
No, dude, I agree. That's what I'm saying. And it's not like I want to feed their ego either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, or I don't. But I don't know. Like, I don't like getting tapped. I take pride in not getting tapped very often. But then again, Sean made me feel like I'm an idiot because I don't get tapped very often.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I've been trying more, and I know you like that butterfly guard stuff like that.
Yeah.
So when I try that, because I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try that. Well, let me tell you what. If you get into that position with some heavyweight and you try like that butterfly sweep or something like that, and you get it wrong, you're toast.
Bye-bye.
Because you're now in a horrible position. And I've been having that happen because I've been trying it every week with the big boys. It hasn't been working for me. I haven't figured out how to get it to work yet, but I'm gonna keep trying.
That's so funny. Hey, we've been asking a lot of questions to our listeners, but if there's one thing you guys feel like when you try it, you just absolutely fail and just like either get smashed or just end up in a worse position, but you keep trying because you want to get better at, what is that? I know like De La Hiva. I was trying to play De La Hiva for a while. John used to have a dope. I
love De La Hiva.
I'm not even gonna lie. John used to have a dope De La Hiva back in the day. I haven't
used it in a long time
because we haven't used it in class, right?
Yeah, that's true.
John used to have a dope De La Hiva back in the day, and I've always said John used to have it, but when I would play De La Hiva, it was terrible, and I'd be like, I don't get this. You know what I mean? Like John doesn't have a good deep half. I feel like I have a good deep half. You know what I mean? What is your guys' move or position that you get to that is either your number one or last place? Because I would love to see what you guys think. I would love to see what kind of off the wall things where people were like, "Oh man, I'll take a balloon sweep to back take from Baron Bolo."
Like, yeah, I was struggling with just the stuff Cody was teaching the other day with once you took the back and you went over, because I was like, man, I feel like I'm just doing a bow and arrow from there.
Yeah, dude. Okay,
and he's like, no, you do this and then you switch the grip, and I was like, but I can just bow and arrow from there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He was like, no, you can't, and I was like, yes, I can.
Well, that's like when they were showing once again taking the arm behind the head, or how are they getting to one of the positions. I was like, yo, Cody, the way I like to get this position is when their hands are on my hips, I just swim under, break the guard, and then as I come back over, I swim the arm through, pinch my elbow, and grab lapel, and I have that same position, but it's a lot faster and a lot easier to me, right? A lot of the times, you just have to find what works for you. For me, some of this stuff doesn't work, but I know an easier way to get there. And he's like, oh, yeah, that works pretty good, too. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm on it, and sometimes I feel like, what the hell am I doing, bro?
Sometimes I'll be driving home like, they just ought to give me a gold medal. Some days I'm like, they just need to give me my white belt back.
What's below a white belt? Should I get what
is it time to is it time to switch schools? That's all I need to know. Do I need to start somewhere else on a white belt?
It's like should I go back to just watching YouTube videos in the UFC? Because right now it's like, what's funny is because we started jiu-jitsu so late in our lives, I feel like we're not going to have that experience of going to parties and using it on our friends.
Yeah, true for me, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I don't go anywhere besides like the podcast room and like.
Well, I can't say that. I was in Leavenworth. I think I told you that one time we had a crazy party there, and one of my buddies is like, hey, show me some of those chokes. Look, here's a word of advice for people that are listening to this. If you're all intoxicated, don't ask the jiu-jitsu guy to show you chokes. His wife was like, hey, he passed out. You didn't let go. I was like, I don't even remember doing that. So I would not ask.
He almost died. He's like, well, he shouldn't have asked.
Just don't ask. Let's just have a good time.
It's so true, man. Like, what's great about having kids that do jiu-jitsu, right? And I think I've mentioned this before, is like when Charles really gets me mad, I'm like, yo, we're practicing jiu-jitsu. Get your butt over here.
Yeah. You're going down.
What's funny is like Olivia is like bigger and stronger than Katie now, right?
Oh yeah, right. Katie can't threaten her at all.
Katie's like, I'm gonna whoop your tail, and Olivia's like,
you can't. That's true. That's very true.
I tell Charles all the time. I'm like, what? All right, man. Just the one day, let me know. Just let me know, man. Like if you want to challenge me, we got mats in the garage, dude. Like, what's great? Speaking of Charles. All jokes aside, that's a joke, by the way. All jokes aside, he's been loving jiu-jitsu. I told him our agreement is we go twice a week, right? Tuesday, Thursday, Tuesday, Saturday, Thursday, Saturday, whatever, right? Or if he wants to go on an open mat. And like the other day, I think it was Thursday. I think it was a Thursday. I was like, yo, you want to go jiu-jitsu tonight or you want to go Saturday? He's like, we're going to go Saturday. I was like, what? He's like, I want to whoop someone's butt. I was like, oh, all right, sorry, bro.
There you go.
He's loving it, man. I think he's having a lot of fun. And it's cool to see, man. Honestly, it is. You know, watching the girls, I feel like Olivia is a little hesitant still in some of her classes, but
yeah, well, like
she could be a killer. She just got to watch it.
Well, unfortunately for her, she's in our class.
True.
So, I mean,
and the only other chick that's her age is a straight killer.
Yeah, and like when she's not there, you know, Olivia was paired up with a new white belt last week, and he was probably a good 220. And I was like, I feel sorry for her.
I could just roll with her next time.
And I was like, and you know, matter of fact, you know, even like Riley, we have a lot of new people in class, right? I don't know how comfortable they are rolling with people they don't know.
Yeah.
And Olivia
or with a small girl.
Yeah, no, Olivia wasn't there. So Riley asked me, she's like, hey, will you partner with me tonight? And I was like, yeah, I will. You know, we've been doing this for 3 years together.
Yeah.
I don't know how that is for someone that's 14, 15 years old and they don't know these adults that are in class.
True.
They don't have that relationship. You know, it might be super uncomfortable for them.
Very true. Like, I was watching Riley. We should probably just try to get her on the podcast too.
I love when people underestimate her,
bro.
Or they
and
try
I was
to go.
just going to say that this grown ass man thought he was about to pass her card. I was like, bro.
Or they try to like.
I didn't want to say anything.
They try to take
it
easy on her, and then she fucking throws that elbow in her throat, and I'm like,
I don't want to. I don't even like say anything to him. I like just standing there and just like, oh, you going easy?
Yeah. Oh, you're about to feel it.
I'm sorry. Someone should have warned you. It ain't gonna be me though.
No. She does not care. Like, you're about to get some pain.
What's funny is that was like, we talk about like her in, you know, forearm to the throat kind of thing and how she was, but that was white belt Riley. Like 3 years deep Riley is even more aggressive, more tactical. You know what I mean? She is, I keep saying killer, but bro, if you guys ever come to our gym and you see the only yellow black belt female that's about 16 years old.
Who's double jointed, so good luck on your arm bars.
I'm going to let you know right now, do not take it lightly. I mean, obviously, we talk about this, right? Yes, if you're a larger, stronger person, you can neutralize her a whole lot easier, but that's not the point, right? It's like when I roll with her, it's like I have to use technique. You know what I mean? I could use my size and strength, but then it's not. Then what is that doing for either one of us? You know what I mean? But she will straight catch me sometimes, like, oh.
Well, I mean, when Cody's using her name to teach technique, like, hey, if you're rolling with someone and you try to, you know, shoulder lock them and their shoulders don't lock, or you're trying to arm bar them and it doesn't work, Riley, then you have to do this, you know? And I'm like, that's how I feel with her. I've put her in arm bars, and you would think her arm would have broke, and she's not even feeling it. I'm like, that is unbelievable.
Dude, I just mentioned earlier, my favorite sweep is X guard, deep X, right? Where you got one leg on your shoulder and then you cross your feet on the other legs. You kick the leg out, stand up with the leg on your shoulder. Riley, it does not work on because she just does the splits. And I'm like,
yeah. Well, she's in the gymnastics, been doing that her whole
judo,
life.
She did judo for a while.
Yeah. I can't wait to see when she's a full-fledged adult, you know.
She's going to be whooping tail.
I wonder why she didn't do the competition last time. I might ask her.
I think she's had too many injuries where she's afraid of like getting injured again, to tell you the truth. That's one thing, is she's from gymnastics, and she tore her MCL, slightly tore her MCL in the middle of class one day because some wrestler white belt like cranked on her leg on accident.
I remember that, yeah.
Or he like locked her leg down and then moved wrong, and like she heard like a pop tear in her knee, and then she had to like miss a couple months because of it. So I think she's like real hesitant because of her past injuries, but she'd be killer, bro.
Who do you think in our class has made the most gains at this point? I want to see if we think it's the same person.
Let's see. I'm gonna honestly, Thor. I'm going to say Thor.
Thor has made plenty of gains, but I'm going to tell you right now who my toughest role is when I have him right now is Will.
Yeah, okay. I watched Will and Cody the other day. I was like, damn, Will is so much better than I am.
I mean, Will stalemate most times.
Yeah, same.
He is like
strong, fast.
I don't know how old Will is.
He's
but
like 32, 33.
Jesus. He can't be that old. That boy doesn't have a 12-year-old hair.
13-year-old.
Damn, well, he is like at that point right now where I feel like he's on a cusp. And he's about to be unstoppable is where I'm feeling.
Yeah. He was the only person after class of our butt-kicking technique of where he was like, oh, no one else wants to roll? And the coach was like, oh, okay, I'll roll with you. And then they did like a 7-minute round before Cody got him. And I was watching it, and I was like, holy crap, man. My guard retention is terrible compared to Will's. Will's like Cody stacked Will, and like Will's flexibility was like insane. I was like, God damn, I'd be like tapping because I'm so uncomfortable.
Me and him rolled, I think maybe a week and a half ago, and he's like, hey, it's been a long time, John. I'm thinking in my head, yeah, because I've been avoiding you.
Yeah.
So we roll.
No joke.
So we roll, and it's a stalemate the whole roll, right? But he wasn't winded when it was over. I was dying inside. Like I used every bit of everything I had for that stalemate.
And he's like, hey, good job. It's like when we roll with like a white belt.
Do you want to go again? And I'm like, no, I want to go crawl in my truck and die.
Bro, it's so true. Yesterday.
Do you see the gray? That took everything I had.
Bro, yesterday after Thor's roll, Will was like kind of hovering. And I was like, oh, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Oh my gosh. This is. Yeah. I'm like,
oh man. None of my tricks work anymore.
John?
I used to tell people, hey, take it easy. I'm a survivor from a stroke. I got all these issues. And they'd be like, oh, okay. And that'd buy me at least a minute. Now that shit didn't work at all. So they hit me at the gates like full force. Will is an animal.
They're like, F you, John. I'm going to get you.
I think somebody, I don't remember who it was yesterday. When Will said that, they went, all gas, no brake. And I was like, well, you hit that on the head.
It's true, man. But what's great about someone like Will is it's not like he's like a mosquito.
I need to watch him and Z roll.
What's great about a Will is he's actually very technical. Too.
Very, very.
He's very technical, and he has explosivity. He's explosive. I don't know if explosivity is a.
It sounded legit. I got it. I was like, man, that's a good word. All right, write that shit down.
Right, but so he's explosive and he's very technical, right? And which makes for a great role. And he's freaking strong, man.
Yeah,
I'm like, golly. But those make for great roles because it makes
you.
Everyone have to step up. It's good having someone like that because I feel like Will and I are pretty much the same level. He might be a little bit better than I am, right? But I have things that in my game that help neutralize his stuff. He has things in his game that help neutralize my stuff, right? So it's a great role. But I try to avoid it sometimes. I'm going to be honest. I try to avoid it.
I'm not going to lie. It's not technique or anything that gets me rolling with Will. It's just his motor.
Yeah.
He's just got more motor than me.
He's so good, man. Yeah.
And I'm like,
I know.
Whew.
It makes me feel like maybe I should jump on the treadmill a little bit. Maybe I should go run a mile. Maybe I should stop eating Twinkies, because there's just so many people in our class.
He feels like a wrestler, but I don't think he is.
I don't think he's a wrestler.
Yeah, like I get almost the same motor feeling with Z.
Do you guys have someone in your school that's like that, where they're like they're like almost the complete package? If they had better technique, you're like, oh crap. You know what I mean? Is there someone that where you feel like you neutralize? You guys are the same belt, whether it's white, blue, purple, black, or whatever, but you feel like you kind of neutralize each other, and it's like your favorite role that you try to avoid. Yeah. Because that is 100% Will for me. Like I enjoy when we actually do a role, but I try to do it as little as often, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I think we need to like challenge ourselves and just roll with them for the next month.
It's true. Yeah, Cody,
I would throw that challenge out to everyone that's listening. For everyone that you avoid, maybe for the next month, and then we'll talk about it in a month.
What is today?
Let's pick those guys that we know are gonna just ruin us and are the toughest roles, and let's just pick them for the next month.
July 1st, I expect 15,000 DMs saying you rolled with the person you try to avoid. at least one time a week.
Let's do it. I mean, let's see how it goes. Like,
I'm down.
Let's pick the challenge.
That means we got to start rolling more.
I'm not rolling with Travis. No, I'm joking. Travis
All right,
is
challenge
a tough
is
roll.
over.
It's almost unfair when I roll with Travis. He knows me so
yes.
well.
I mean, you and I grew up in jiu-jitsu. That's why we started the podcast, right? It's because we grew up in jiu-jitsu together. So
if I manage to get Travis, it's because I'm sneaky.
It's because he watched a YouTube video before class and he executed it simultaneously.
This is what I tell people when they ask me, because I've actually been asked it before. They're like, who wins when you and Travis roll? And I go, this is the way it goes. If we roll 10 times, Travis is going to win 8. I'll probably get 2 out of the 10. No shame in my game. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah. It used to be, no offense, John, it used to be once or maybe once to 0. It'd be 10 times out of 10 or 9 times out of 10. Now he's got me with some stuff where I'm like, gosh, dang it, man.
Yeah, but it would still go to him if it was many rounds, and I have no problem saying that.
Yeah, John, the times that John has got me, it's because he's gotten some things where I just wasn't expecting it. I got him in a Kimura trap the one time where my north-south Kimura, and John was expecting it, and so he looked up techniques on how to counter the north-south Kimura, and then he almost got me in a wrist lock from the north-south Kimura, and I was like, oh my God. And I had to, I basically had to muscle out of it because I was like, John ain't tapping me tonight, man.
And Travis knows all my weaknesses. He knows I got shit shoulders. So he'll push my shoulders up, and I'm like, you bastard.
It's like they're fully mechanical, so you hear the clicking. You know what I mean? They're like a chain hoist.
Yeah. Nobody else knows it, so I'm safe. Now they know it. Damn.
You know what's great is there's plenty of people in our class where I'm like, I know what your weakness is. I'm going neon belly as much as possible. I'm going for that right ankle that's been broke 6 times. No, I'm just joking. Stuff like that.
Like Jordan, I know your lungs are under your rib cage. I got you.
I'm gonna get you the whole time.
He's like, my lungs are in here in my stomach, and I'm like,
I have no sternum. It's all just rib connected, and I'm like, good.
Yeah. All right, now I know where to go. Got it.
So, but in any case, guys, John, you got anything else?
No, I don't, man. Just let's take the challenge.
Take the challenge. Take June as your challenge month. Roll with the person you've been avoiding with at least once a week.
I think that's a great challenge.
That's a great challenge.
Who are you going to pick?
Will. Unfortunately. Will and Cody.
God, Cody annihilates me.
Yeah. Oh, I take that back. I roll with Cody all the time. If Nate is in class, it's going to be Nate and Cody.
All right, I'm going to go with my 2 toughest rolls.
Or Nate and Will.
Do you want to guess my 2? You know Will. Who's the other one? My toughest rolls. I don't want to roll with them because they're that tough.
I don't know.
It's going to be Will and Keegan.
Oh, I forgot about Keegan.
Will and Keegan, if you're listening to this, and I hope you're not.
Yeah.
It's going to be you 2 boys.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, quick housekeeping things. Hit us up on social media. Elbows Tight Podcast everywhere. Elbows Tight Pod on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook. Go to elbowstight.com. Follow our blog. Join our email list. Give us a 5-star review, please, on Apple's and iTunes and every platform you possibly can. Google, if you guys listen on Google. That helps us get discovered, and also let us know that we're doing something right. Right now, we have 17 5-star reviews. You guys are absolutely insane. Let's see if we can't get to 20 by the end of the month. That'd be phenomenal. If you guys can get us to 20 5-star reviews, that'd be great. Thank you guys so much for everything. But yeah, that's all we got. If you ain't got nothing else, John?
If we get to 20, maybe we'll treat you guys to a video of me and Travis rolling. Where we're at
There
now.
we go. You get us to 20 5-star reviews on iTunes. John and I will post a video, a recent video of us rolling together.
We'll make a new one. You can watch me tap.
Deal. 25-star reviews on iTunes, and we'll release a video of John and I rolling together. There we go. That's a good one.
There you go.
All right, guys. Well, we appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for listening. And remember, no oil checks here.
That's it. I'm not saying it.
We're not going to stop until you say it.
I'm not saying it. See you guys later.
Later, guys.